Good morning, people of God. I'm Father Chas Canoy, and this Gospel of John holds a special place in my heart, since, after all, I'm the pastor of St. John the Evangelist in Jackson. And in these last two chapters of the Gospel of John, we experience the joy of the resurrection and that super special time Jesus had with his disciples before he would ascend into heaven. Remember that the Gospel of John was written after the first three synoptic Gospels, and so John assumes the reader has some familiarity with at least one of those Gospels that are relatively very similar to each other. So the Gospel of John, it has a very different feel, and he fills in a lot of the stories and details not present in the other Gospels. And even then, John says in both chapters, 20 and 21, that there were so many other things that Jesus did that he couldn't record. In fact, John ends the entire gospel with John 21:25 by stating, "Now there are many other things that Jesus did. Were every one of them to be written, I suppose the world itself could not contain the books that would be written." And how true is that? Because even now, Jesus is desirous of using this occasion of our reading of the Gospels to do a powerful work in our hearts right now. How can we open ourselves to that? Well, there's a lot of great material to really just meditate upon and enter into, placing yourself in the scene and imagining what it must have been like for his disciples to see Jesus risen from the dead for the first time. So in your prayer time today, take the time to close your eyes and place yourselves in the shoes of Mary Magdalene early on that first day of the week. You know, Mary Magdalene is known as the apostle to the apostles because she was the one who brought the good news of the resurrection to the 11. In the span of probably just an hour, Mary Magdalene runs through a whole gamut of emotions, from the surprise of the empty tomb to thinking that Jesus' body was stolen, grieving at the loss of this one who had totally changed her life, and then to having Jesus appear to her and beholding him more alive than ever before. The other appearances of our risen Lord in this gospel to his disciples are so very moving as well. When he appears to the disciples in that upper room who were so afraid that they felt paralyzed behind those locked doors, that is, until Jesus appears to them out of nowhere and empowers them with the Holy Spirit. And you'll hear about good old doubting Thomas and how after Jesus appears to him the following week, when he wasn't there the first week, Thomas then redeems himself, giving one of the greatest professions of faith in just 5 words. And then Jesus appears to the disciples again in Galilee, up north, coming full circle, returning to the place where he first called these fishermen to follow him. And when Jesus gave them another miracle catch, they knew it was the Lord. And finally, John ends with a moving encounter between Jesus and the first disciple he called. It was Peter. Entrusting to this broken but redeemed and changed man, his beloved people, until his return. You know, you could have a whole retreat on these last 2 chapters, taking a holy hour for each meditation on each beautiful resurrection appearance. So I encourage you to place yourselves in the place of each of these disciples. How would you have responded? And give that response directly to Jesus in your prayer and await his response. He wants to continue the many other wonders that the world could not contain by speaking even now to your heart. God bless you.